Cold Open. September 19th, 1940. Warsaw, occupied Poland. A man in his late 30s walks down a crowded street. He's not hiding. He's not running. He's waiting. A Nazi roundup sweeps through the neighborhood. Soldiers grab people at random. The man does not resist. He lets them take him. They check his papers. The name reads Tomasz Serafiński. It's a fake identity. His real name is Witold Pilecki. He is a captain in the Polish resistance, and he just volunteered for Auschwitz. The mission. Pilecki's mission is almost unthinkable. He will get himself imprisoned in the most brutal concentration camp in Nazi-occupied Europe. He will build an underground network from scratch. He will smuggle intelligence to the outside world. And he will prove to the Allies that the Holocaust is real. Nobody has ever attempted anything like this. Nobody ever will again. The stakes. Auschwitz in 1940 is not yet the extermination factory it will become, but it is already a place of starvation, beatings, and random executions. The average prisoner survives 3 months. Pilecki will survive 947 days, and what he will witness and document will change history. But first, we need to understand who this man was before the hell. Early life. Witold Pilecki was born in 1901 in Olonets, in what was then the Russian Empire. His family were Polish patriots. His grandfather had been exiled to Siberia for participating in the January uprising of 1863. Patriotism ran in his blood. As a young man, Pilecki joined the Polish Scouts, an organization that combined outdoor skills with fierce national pride. The Polish-Soviet War. In 1918, Poland regained its independence after 123 years of occupation. Pilecki was 17. In 1920, when the Soviet Red Army invaded Poland, he volunteered immediately. He fought in the Battle of Warsaw, one of the most decisive battles in European history. Poland won against all odds. Pilecki was decorated for bravery. After the war, he became a cavalry officer and a landowner, living a quiet life with his wife and children. 1939. The end of everything. Then came September 1st, 1939. Hitler invaded Poland. 2 weeks later, Stalin invaded from the east. Poland was crushed between two totalitarian powers. Pilecki and his cavalry unit fought desperately, but it was hopeless. When Poland surrendered, Pilecki did not. He went underground and helped found the secret Polish army, one of the first resistance organizations in occupied Europe. But resistance alone was not enough. Someone had to find out what the Nazis were doing behind the barbed wire. The decision. In the summer of 1940, the Polish underground received disturbing reports. Thousands of Poles were being rounded up and sent to a new camp near the town of Oświęcim, Auschwitz. No one knew exactly what happened inside, but the reports were terrifying. Pilecki made a proposal so bold, his superiors thought he was insane. Let him be arrested. Let him be sent to Auschwitz. He would collect intelligence and organize resistance from within. The arrest. On September 19, 1940, Pilecki walked into a Nazi street roundup in Warsaw. He was beaten, shoved into a truck, and transported to Auschwitz. On his arm, the Nazis tattooed a number, 4859. The gate read, Arbeit macht frei. Work sets you free. Pilecki knew it was a lie. He was now a prisoner in the most efficient killing system in human history. First days in hell. The first days were a shock, even for a battle-hardened soldier. Starvation rations, roll calls that lasted hours in freezing rain, guards who beat prisoners to death for looking at them the wrong way, the smell of burning flesh from the crematorium. Pilecki saw men lose their minds. He saw others give up and walk into the electric fence. But he kept his eyes open. He memorized names. He studied guard routines. He started building his network. Building the ZOW. Pilecki called his organization ZOW, Związek Organizacji Wojskowej, the Union of Military Organizations. He recruited prisoners from different barracks, different nationalities. They communicated through secret messages hidden in food deliveries, laundry, even corpses sent to the morgue. The goal? Gather intelligence, smuggle it to the outside world, and eventually lead a prisoner uprising. The network grows. Over the next 2 years, ZOW grew to hundreds of members. They had cells in almost every part of the camp. They sabotaged Nazi operations. They stole documents. They arranged extra food for the weakest prisoners. They even built a secret radio transmitter from stolen parts, though the Nazis eventually discovered it. Pilecki's men operated under constant threat of death. If caught, they would be hanged in front of the entire camp. Several were. Witnessing the horror. And Pilecki watched as Auschwitz transformed. When he arrived in 1940, it was a camp for Polish political prisoners. By 1942, it was the epicenter of the final solution. He witnessed the first gassings in the basement of Block 11. He saw trains arriving from across Europe, unloading thousands of Jews who were sent directly to the gas chambers. He knew that the world had to be told. The reports escape. Through his network, Pilecki began smuggling reports to the Polish underground in Warsaw. Written on scraps of paper, hidden in laundry, they described the gas chambers, the crematoria, the scale of the killing. From Warsaw, the reports were radioed to the Polish government in exile in London. The Polish government passed them to the British and the Americans. Pilecki's reports were among the first and most detailed accounts of the Holocaust. He practically begged the Allies to bomb the camp or the railway lines leading to it. The response? Silence. The Allies didn't believe the reports. Or worse, they didn't want to act. The decision to leave. By 1943, Pilecki faced an agonizing choice. The Allies were not coming. An uprising inside the camp would fail without outside support. The Gestapo was closing in on ZOW. His own position was compromised. He realized that if he died in Auschwitz, the truth might die with him. He had to escape. He had to deliver the report personally. The escape. On the night of April 26, 1943, Easter Monday, Pilecki and 2 other prisoners made their move. They had been assigned to work in a bakery outside the camp fence. At the right moment, they overpowered a guard, cut the telephone line, and ran. Machine gun fire erupted from the watchtowers. Pilecki sprinted through the darkness, bullets tearing through the air around him. He made it. After 947 days, Witold Pilecki was free. Return to Warsaw. He made his way back to Warsaw. He wrote a comprehensive report, over 100 pages, detailing every aspect of Auschwitz: the administration, the executions, the gas chambers, the names of SS officers. It was the most important eyewitness account of the Holocaust ever produced. But still, the Allies hesitated. Pilecki returned to the resistance. In August 1944, he fought in the Warsaw Uprising, the massive but doomed Polish rebellion against the Nazis. When the uprising fell, Pilecki was captured and spent the rest of the war in a German POW camp. The Iron Curtain falls. The war ended in 1945. Pilecki was liberated from the POW camp and joined the Polish army in Italy. But Poland was not free. The Soviet Union had installed a communist regime. Pilecki faced a terrible choice: stay in the West and live safely, or return to Poland and continue the resistance, this time against the communists. He chose to return. Arrest and trial. In Poland, Pilecki began gathering intelligence on the new Soviet-backed government. He sent reports to the West, but the secret police were watching. In 1947, he was arrested. The communists tortured him. They held a show trial. They accused him of spying for Western imperialism, the same Western powers that had ignored his Auschwitz reports. In 1948, Witold Pilecki was sentenced to death. Execution and burial. On May 25, 1948, Witold Pilecki was executed in Warsaw's Mokotów prison. His last words, reportedly, were, "Long live free Poland." He was 47 years old. His body was thrown into an unmarked grave. His name was erased from history books. For over 40 years under communist rule, it was illegal to speak his name in Poland. The fall of communism. In 1989, communism collapsed in Poland. Slowly, the truth about Witold Pilecki began to emerge. Historians uncovered his reports. Survivors of Auschwitz testified about his heroism. His family, his children and grandchildren, could finally speak his name publicly. In 2006, he was posthumously awarded Poland's highest honor. Monuments were built. Streets were named after him. Legacy and CTA. Witold Pilecki is the man who volunteered for hell, who saw the absolute worst humanity can do and refused to look away, who risked everything to tell the world the truth, and who was killed not by the Nazis, but by the very forces that were supposed to liberate his country. If you believe this kind of courage deserves to be remembered, hit that like button. Tell me in the comments, what would you have done in his place? And subscribe, because there are more forgotten heroes, and we are going to find every single one of them.